Hey there, welcome to this week's live video live that is Wealth-Wise Wednesdays, okay? Tonight's subject, probably one of my favorites because it's not has nothing to do with like data and P&L and profit and loss, income expense, all that kind of stuff. And we get into a lot of that. In other words, tonight is actually the sequence of steps that I go through myself as an investor when I'm looking at properties. It's the same process, guys, I've been using for more than 20 years. I've been investing for 33 years, but I figured this out after about a dozen years. It's the same process I used when I taught all my agents with my brokerage company. It's the same process I use when I taught all my clients how to invest in real estate, okay? There's a sequence of steps we go through to go from canvassing the area to find even a few golden nuggets to look at, all the way down to making the offer. Okay, so this set of skills are actually behavioral skills. They're not necessarily academic skills. It's a behavior that you learn, a behavioral pattern you develop, basically a set of habits, a sequence of steps. Okay, you guys ready? Let's go ahead and get started here. If you got questions, just post them. If you're watching this in recorded mode, just again send me a message. I'll be glad to get back to you. First things first. Let's assume you're working with an investor agent, or you're an investor agent working with a client. Okay, um, before you ever start anything, you want to do what we call an interview. Okay, and let's say I'm a broker, I'm doing this, and I'm working with a client. The client to them it's a conversation. It actually is a conversation, but to me it's an interview. It allows me to determine timing, motivation, readiness, willingness, and ability. Okay, so if you're an investor watching this, just remember this is the same exact process I use myself. Okay, all I did is I added that front end piece. When I'm working with investors, I want to make sure that they, they're bringing something to the table. All right. Um, or we can have them go through our training program, and then we know we've got a bona fide client to work with. Because you don't want to make mistakes. I mean, we don't want you to make mistakes. I don't want to make a mistake. I'm an investor and a broker both, right? So that's why we go through this process. Now, in that interview process, we determine what motivates you. Your chances are if you've received some type of marketing from me, okay, in the form of a booklet, or I put a YouTube video out there walking through a fourplex, giving you the layout, giving you all the numbers, the financials, all that kind of stuff. And you've responded to that, okay? What we're trying to figure out is what did you like, what appealed to you the most? Did you like the flip better than you like the rental? Or do you like the rental better than you like the flip? I mean, I know probably you guys are wondering, well, how do I know? Well, I'll tell you, one way you'll know is this. Flipping's a lot of fun, believe me. It's glamorous. It's fun taking a house that needs a lot of TLC and remodeling it, and you put it up to this level and you sell it for profit. That's fun. It's also fun when you go to the closing and cash a big giant check for $100,000. Okay, that's fun. That's why we have all the shows. Flip this house, flip flop, all that stuff. If you think about it, when have you ever seen a show, primetime television? Hey, buy this rental. Okay, it just doesn't exist. However, rentals are the better longer term way to build wealth and income. See, with a flip, you get paid once. With a rental, you get paid over and over and over and over and over and over again for as long as you own the property. Okay, you build wealth and income over time. Far more powerful investment. Get yourself some rentals and you can flip all day long. All right. So back to this. We now determine what it is motivates you right now, because if you got the money to do both, you can do both. But if you can only do one, which one do you want to do first? Let's just assume it's a rental. Okay. So the next thing we do is this: again, I'm assuming I'm working with you. You're one of my clients. I'm going to have you email me with a recap, excuse me, of our conversation. Okay. For two reasons. Number one is I want to make sure there's clarity of our understanding. I want to make sure I understood everything we talked about from your perspective, not mine. What matters is what you remember, what your recollection is, what your perception is. So I'm going to get that email back, make sure we're in sync. If I feel like there's any fuzziness, we're going to communicate again, make sure we're in sync, okay? Once we're in sync, I'm going to say, great. Now I want you to sign this form. It's an agency agreement that commits me to working with you, provide you confidentiality, all this kind of stuff that you get by being a client. If you don't do that, you don't get all that stuff. A lot of consumers don't realize that. I didn't know it till I became a broker. The agents who want me to sign on with them, I said, I don't feel like I got to sign anything. Believe me, it's in your best interest to sign. Number one is, once you're under an agreement, that agent will go to work for you, like that's how they're going to get paid, because that is how they're going to pay, to serve your best interest. I mentioned confidentiality. Also, like E&O covers, insurance covers on the transaction, right? So you just take advantage of that. Lots of reasons. But the main thing is I can tell you, any agent worth their salt, the ones we've trained, like the investor agents all over the U.S. and Canada, they're only going to work with you if you agree to work with them in that fashion. It's a professional, just like when you work with an attorney or a tax accountant or any professional service provider, the dentist, orthodontist, chiropractor. We all want that contractual relationship is based on, needs, me satisfying your needs. Okay. It's just accept it as that, because it is exactly what it is. And if you want to get the right results, you got to work with the right people, right? So we go through that, and then once I have that, then I go to bat for you. I basically strip everything out of my schedule, focus solely on you, and I go out and find you the inventory, right? Now, on the surface, everybody might be thinking, well, it's all over the internet now. It's all on the MLS, and everybody has access to the MLS, blah, 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 blah. That may be true, but we don't use the MLS, okay? We don't use any of that stuff. We don't use the MLS. I mean, we do, if it's something out there that's good, believe me, we'll use the MLS. But most cases, most of our deals are not on the MLS. Same thing with Zillow, Truly, all those services, all they're doing, guys, they're getting the data from the MLS systems and other public sources that we all have access to, okay? So that's why I'm not, when people call me up and say, hey, I found this property on Zillow, I'm like, well, good, but guess what? I just looked it up, and that thing sold 2 months ago. The Zillow information is old and stale. Happens all the time. So just work with an investor agent who's trained to go find current today's inventory by going under the radar screen. Okay. So we go to bat for you. We go use certain marketing techniques to using public records, tax records, all this stuff to help us identify specific owners of specific properties in specific areas that meet your needs and wants. Okay. That's why we have such high success rates. This is not like we're casting a wide net and then hoping for a fish. This is the way, like doctors perform. We listen, we ask you questions, we listen to the answers, and then we prescribe the remedy or the solution. That's what investor agents do, okay? So once we have that, let's say we've identified 50 potential properties. Well, there's no way we're going to go look at 50 properties. What I'll have you do is go through a sequence of steps to analyze the property financially. I teach you how to do this, you the investor. Okay, and if you're an investor agent watching this, this is how we behave with our clients, okay? So the first thing we'll do is, assuming we found this inventory, which we did, the owner is going to want something for it, right? So we look at what they want. And if what they want is, in our opinion, equal to or below what we think the average market value is, we'll keep that in the good pile. If it's above what we believe market value is for that type of property in that area, then we eliminate it from the pile. Now we've narrowed our pile down in half, okay? So at this point, that's the first wave. Very fast, doesn't take a lot of time. I know you might be thinking, we might be missing a deal every now and then. I know that, but we're gonna focus on the ones that have the highest probability of being a good deal for us. Make sense? So in any case, we've done that. Now we're down to a phase 2 of analysis. We're going to be looking now at the actual numbers that are provided. What type of financial data do we have? We're looking at rents, which is our income, vacancy rates. Is there any other income, laundry, storage, what have you? We also start looking at expenses, taxes, insurance, water, maintenance and repairs, gas, electric, list goes on, and all that kind of stuff's out there, property taxes. So we're going to do a financial analysis first on the property based on the way it's behaving, the way the property is performing today. Now, we may get from looking at the data that the property is being it's underperforming. They could definitely, the owners could raise their rents, make a lot more money on this thing, but the fact is right now they're not. We got the data that tells us that. So, and by the way, I always look for underperforming assets, right? Looking for value. I'm also looking for mismanaged assets. I'm looking for multi-unit buildings where they have a high vacancy rate, because that tells me the manager is not doing a good job or the owner is not doing a good job. So I look for those opportunities. Okay, this is why we do this phase first. We don't go look at the physical, we don't go look at the property physically till after we've done this phase first. The financial phase comes first, okay? I know it's different than things other people are teaching, I get it, but let's face it, they're going out looking at 50 properties, only to find out half of them they had no business looking at, which is a huge waste of time, and then you do the financial analysis. We're doing desktop analysis based on proven principles. And so in any case, we do this analysis, right? Let's say this passes the second wave of analysis. Properties look great, they're making money, we're satisfied, or they're underperforming or poorly managed, okay? At this point, we then go back and do a third wave of analysis on our desktop computer before we ever leave the house. We're now going to look at whatever we can see in the way of pictures and also other data descriptions on the property. We'll look at, in other words, we'll look at pictures to see what the place actually looks like in our opinion based on the photos. We'll also look at the area, right? We're going to look at what's around the area. There are hospitals around there, universities, colleges, high-tech office parks, shopping, transportation, schools, things like that. All right. We're also going to look at this. The bedroom sizes, how many bedrooms, the size of the yard, right? Is it on a hill? Is there a lot of steps going up? Is it a flat? Is there a garage? Is there a basement? Is there a separate dining room? How many bathrooms? All these characteristics, because we want to make sure if we're going to be buying a 4-unit building that's loaded with, all it has is 4 one-bedroom apartments, we want to make darn sure the demographics in that area only need 1-bedroom apartments. If the demographics tell us that there's need for 3-bedroom apartments, well, we want to look for a property that has 3 bedrooms, okay? So this is all on our desktop analysis. We're basically separating the wheat from the chaff. So we go through that third wave, look at the characteristics of the property and the surrounding area, okay? And now we've narrowed it down to maybe say 12 properties, okay? 1/4 of the original batch of 50, right? So at this point, what I do is I have the investors go and do the drive-by, okay? Go after work, go in the morning, go in the afternoon, whatever you want to go. All you're doing is driving by. You're not going to go out and look through the windows and stuff like that. I know it's going to be tempting, but you might freak somebody out if you do that, okay? So what we're looking at is as we go into the area, we're going to take a turn off the highway, get off the ramp, go down a thoroughfare with shopping and restaurants and stuff like that. We're paying attention to everything. Then we turn off the side street, go down there. What do we see? Do we see cars up on blocks? Do we see yards scattered with toys strewn about and uncut grass and things like that? Well, we don't want to buy there, okay? I know the old saying is you don't want to buy in a place where you would live because you're renting this place out in this example. I get that. We also want to be renting to people in places that want to be there, and the places are nice. We have a sense of pride in our properties, okay? So we do the drive-bys, and we narrow this list down to now the final 6. We cut it in half again. We're down to the final 6 properties, okay? At that point, me as the broker, the agent, I have to set appointments to go see the physical properties. We've done desktop analysis, we've done drive-bys, now we're down to the final 6, the best of the best. Not the most expensive, not the cheapest, simply the ones that make the most sense for us to go take a look at. So we do that. Let's say it's a Saturday morning. We can easily go look at 6 properties in half a day, okay? I meet you there, you're my client. Again, I'm playing the role that you're the investor and I'm the agent, okay? And you're gonna have your information sheets with you where you go through and you write down what you're seeing in the property. Another technique you can use is take your phone and go through and record everything and talk while you're walking through. Living room, check. Living room, carpet new, carpet old. Carpet needs to be clean, whatever. Ceiling fan, ceiling light, the windows, doors, whatever you got to do. The point is if you do it live over your phone like this, that means later on you got to fill in your information sheets. I prefer you show up with the clipboard with your information sheet. You can still take pictures to substantiate your notes and go back again. But you're going to fill in the information form, all right? Now, we're going to do that for all 6 properties. At the end of the day, you don't ever want to say, hey, let's go home, you tell me what you want to do next, I'll see you later. Don't ever do that. The 2 of you, investor and agent, should meet after the last property, right after the last property. If you're in a car together, use your hood or your trunk of your car, or go to the local Panera Bread or Starbucks, or go back to your office if you want. Okay, you're going to go through the information sheets. These are analysis sheets, and while you're in there, by the way, you're tallying everything up. Okay, so at the end, what you do is this: you line them all up, side by side, all 6 of them. There's actually 2 ways to do this. We'll do the first way first, then I'll show you the other way. Line them up 6 by 6, and you look at those 6, and you say to yourself, if I could only buy 5, which one would I do not? Which one could I most easily live without? You take that property, crumple it up, throw it away. Okay, it's cathartic. Then you do the same again. If I could only buy 4 properties, which one can I most likely live without? You take that one and get rid of it. You're trying to narrow this down to obviously potentially 1, but hopefully no more than 3, because you're not going to make offers on bunches of properties. You're only going to make an offer on 1 unless you can afford 3 properties. Then of course you make 3 offers. But you don't want to scatter make offers on all these properties hoping one will stick. That's not how we do the business. It's going to ruin your reputation, ruin your agent's reputation, and nobody would take you seriously. And all you're doing is clogging up the works and working way harder than you need to. So we go through this process to narrow things down. Let's say you could only get it down to the final 3. By the way, the other technique is this. Of the 6 properties, you just take 2 at a time. You compare the 2. One's a winner, one's a loser, right? You crumple up the loser, you keep the winner, okay? You do that with the next 2. Keep going down till you're down to the final 1, 2, or 3 properties. Now here's the coolest part of all. What you do now is this. This is me again speaking to you. I'm the broker, you're the client. Okay, I'm going to say, I want you to go home. I want you to go through your numbers on these final 3, go back to your original desktop analysis, compare, and prioritize them. And if you can only buy 1, pick the one you think it's going to be. But the point is this: I want you to scan and email me your results. I'm going to call you at 9 p.m. tonight. This is the exact process I use to make an offer on every single trip I go out. Okay. So 9 o'clock comes, you sent me your email, I'll call you up, we go through the final set. I'm going to basically be like teacher at this point and validate your numbers. And you pick the final one, assuming if you've already done that, that's okay. And what I'll do is at this point is I'm going to write up the offer. I'm going to send it to you electronically. You're going to sign it, send it back to me electronically, along with a copy of your hand money check and your proof of funds if you're getting a loan, okay? Now I've got the 3 things I need to make an offer. I got the offer, hand money check, and proof of funds. I submit that to the other agent. I send them a message saying you've got an offer in your in basket. Please respond to me first thing in the morning. Let me know you got it when you're going to present it, okay? And that, my friends, is how we go about doing this business, where we make more money, not more work. It's the most efficient way we've ever determined to invest in real estate. It's more respectful to us as investors. It's more respectful to our investor agents that work with us. It's the only way to make sure it's win-win for everybody. You get the best deals out there. Your investor agent's happy. You do more business with them. It's absolutely win-win all the way around. So in any case, guys, I appreciate you being on part. Hey, by the way, got a question from Maximo. Hey, Maximo, what discount is an investor looking to get on a deal? Hey, Maximo, everyone's different. I mean, it depends on the area. That depends on the house, number 1, the area, number 2, and the overall economic factors, number 3. So if inventory is tight, right, and prices are elevating rapidly, you're not going to get much of a discount, because if you try to go in too low, you're gonna lose your shirt. Maximum, the offer is really more based on what we call the maximum allowable offer. Once we've done our numbers, we know what the thing should be priced at. We know what we offer. We make an offer based on that. Now, if I feel like there's wiggle room and it's a soft market, inventory is high, days on market's long, I will definitely always go for an extra 10% off. In fact, and depending on, back in the early days of the recession, 10 years ago, I'd offer 20% off. Even if my numbers told me I could make money at the MAO, I would still go down below 20%. There are actually properties I bought, Maximo, I paid cash for, and that's soft economy. I'd offer 50 cents on the dollar, and you'd be surprised how many times I got it, okay? In any case, guys, that's we're a little bit over here. It's just about 20 minutes. I appreciate you participating. Look forward to seeing you. By the way, next week, guys, we're not going to be able to have it on Wednesday night because I will be in the middle of a class, okay? So I might do it a little bit late. We'll get the word out to you by end of day tomorrow what we're going to do there for next week. It's just kind of an odd situation with two classes in one day, and one of them is starting late. So unfortunately, we'll get the word out to you. But in any case, thanks for participating, guys. God bless you, and we will see you next week. All right, take care, and God bless. Bye bye.